Good morning, people. I got my Starbucks. Let's talk. So, I went to a Brenda Palmer Bible study the other day. They were talking about how the first had you ask, they asked you where do you see yourself, like on a scale from 1 to 10, how close do you feel like you are with God? And at that point, I felt like I was a 9. But that's what it was about. It was about like, how are you doing with the reality that God's asking you to do something that maybe you don't want to do. He's asking you to become somebody that maybe you don't really see yourself or want to be. And some people were honest. Some people were like, I'm low. I'm a 1. Some people were like, I'm a 6. Some people were like, I'm a 9. Some people are, but everybody's in these varying degrees of being okay with what God is asking them to do. And then there was this girl. And she said, what do I do with the confusion? She said she's doing all that she's supposed to do. She feels like she's doing all that she's supposed to do. But she feels an intense sense of witchcraft in her life and confusion. And I thought to myself, like you can hear it in her voice, how tired she was. And I think about that now, and to be honest with you, like the response that she got from other women, like God was talking to me as she was talking. Like when you could feel the pain in her voice, like my heart started to beat fast because I knew exactly where she was and where she was at. Long story short, there was like 3 or 4 people that went up to go pray for her. One girl, God was talking to me about her, and he was like, that's performative, what she's doing right now. Because she was like talking in tongues and like basically saying like out loud, like, I want to pray for her. I think she needs it, da-da-da-da-da. Because she needs to do this, and she needs, she's kind of like, she's praying for her, but she's like, I don't even know how to say it. But what God said to me was like, and she also wanted to pray for everybody in the room at the end. God was like, that's performative. He was like, I'm not going to acknowledge that. I was shocked. There was another girl that prayed for her, and this girl was doing the worship. She had these black circles around her eyes. And if you were to cover up her mouth and just look at her eyes are dead. Like, she was up there singing and worshiping and stuff, and she was like singing like real like deep, like she was really like singing, but like her eyes was dead. And God was like, she ain't got no power, because she still is in her depression, and she ain't even asked me how to come out of it, but she up here singing and stuff to everybody else. And so she's praying for her and praying, and she's also coming up to her and praying for her. And because I've been where that girl was, I really didn't think that what the girl with the dead eyes was saying to her was actually what she needed to hear. And God was like, it's not. That's witchcraft. And God made it seem as though you can be participating in witchcraft and not realize you're participating in witchcraft, because you are saying things, right? You're saying things from a place that you are not actually healed from. So your prayer is not intentional. So just like how I talked about Westmore saying he lives by faith, but he really don't live by faith, and you could tell he don't live by faith because he does not have the language to explain that he truly has lived by faith, and neither does he act upon his faith. So he can't really give you like solid advice on about how to be and truly be in your faith walk. God was like, that's witchcraft. And so I thought it was so interesting that she felt heavy. She felt a sense of heaviness because she got people praying for her that really don't know what they're talking about. And then she had another girl, the last girl. So she had about 4 people get up and like stammer over her to pray for her, because at this point she's like in tears. And so then there's this last girl. She says, you need to change your language. You can't say that you feel depressed. Say that you're, in the middle of the intricacies of blah, blah, blah. Like, she wanted her to Christianize it. And you know what? No. The reality is that she feels heavy because y'all are saying a whole bunch of stuff to her that don't make sense. Y'all are saying a whole bunch of stuff to her that does not make sense, and it's not intentional. The reality is that she's doing what everybody there don't want to do. She's the one person that's actually in her true, like she's doing what God is telling her to do. And she feels a sense of like sadness around it. She feels a sense of witchcraft because she's not hearing what she needs to hear, which is valid. That's a very valid thing. Where like, if I break my arm, right, but then I go to a person that's a chiropractor, he cannot tell me the right thing to do about my broken arm. Do you see what I'm saying? You need like an orthopedic surgeon or something like that. Like, you need a different type of doctor that can actually give you solid advice on what to do about your broken arm. It's not saying, like, I would never go to somebody and be like, oh, you broke your arm. Oh, you're not saying it right. You're not saying it right. You need to say that, you are in between the intricacies of I don't know, a vertical planet and gravity has overtaken you, and you broke your arm and it hurts. The end. And I think that's why I created the product that I made, because you don't have to sit up here and be confused about where you are. Having HSV1 or having HSV2 is a valid thing. And at this point in my journey, I'm not really ready to say that I serve people who have HSV2, but I do feel like I could say I serve people that have HSV1. The reason why is because when you have that particular infection, it can weaken your immune system, which then can weaken your ability to fight infection. It also weakens your ability to maintain the good and bad bacteria in your body, so you're more susceptible to bacterial vaginosis and yeast infections. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's it. And so I created what I created so that I can help those people, and create more tips and stuff about what to do when you feel a little bit of itch or a little bit of tingle come on. Like, that's what it's for. And so that young lady, if I could say anything to her, I would say that you're entering into a season where you're going to have to be closer to God than what you were before. But this is a good thing, because now you're going to have, you're having to look past, I don't want to say look past, but you're having to come into contact with like real issues, real pain. You're having to get up and move on anyway. So you're dealing with situations where like say, for example, when I was a teacher, I'm dealing with the realities of the job. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've come across children where it do look like they battling with some type of demons. I'm coming across kids where like their mama don't care about them, and they are coming to school being, I don't even know what, and I really don't know what to say. And I'm having to go to God and have a different type of relationship with him so that I can get through my day. That's kind of where you're at. And so it may feel like you kind of cast out to sea, but you're not. Your life is going to be feeling hectic. Like, your life may feel like it's all over the place, and that's okay. Because the reality is that he's with you even in those seasons. That's what you really need to hear. You need to hear that you need to be completely honest with him about how you feeling. Like, I don't like this, I don't like that, this pissed me off. Like, I don't know who she was talking to. I felt confused. I feel hazy. Like, say it. Say it just like that. So then God can help you just like that, right where you are. You're about to experience God meet you right where you are. So keep going. Check the link in the comment section for my HSV1 balm. You can use it on Cold Sores, and you can use it down there. But know that, like, solutions are there. God is with you, and you're going to be all right.